Hi, everyone. Thank you very much for everyone who's watching us. I'm very happy. I'm Paula Carvalho, and I'm very happy for the invitation from Tabla to talk today with the Syrian author who's young, and she's also a journalist. Her name is Dima Wannus, and Tabla has just published her novel called A Família que Devorou Seus Homens, the family who devoured their men. And it's a very powerful narrative about women and about memory and exile in Syria. So thank you very much. I want to receive Dima now.
Hi, Paula. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you for having
Hi,
me.
Dima. You are in London, right?
Yes, I'm in London.
So, just for our audience, my connection is a little bit unstable. So, I hope that I can survive. We can make it through this conversation throughout this hour. Otherwise, I guess Laura from Tabla will come and replace me. Okay. And if anyone has any questions, you can send on the YouTube chat that we will ask Dima. So, Dima, thank you very much. I loved your book. It's just so sad. I reread it again and I thought, oh my God, this is so sad. I forgot how sad it was when I read it first. And it's a really beautiful book about women. And I would like to know if how did you start writing your book? Are these characters based on your family? How did you come up with those characters?
Yes, Paula, before starting, I really need to say that I'm really happy to be here with you. And thank you so much. Thank you, for Anna, for Tabla. I'm very happy because this novel also, it's the first time that it's translated to another language. So I'm very happy. And I'm sorry because my English can be horrible, especially now. It's 10, 10 in London, so it's my bedtime. So I will try my best to be to be strong enough to answer your great question. So you asked me how did I start to write this novel after the Syrian revolution in 2011. I lost many things that were essential in my life and in my memory also. Just million of Syrian. So in the beginning, I lost my city, Damascus. I lost my house. Also, I lost my friends because I had to leave in mid 2011 to Beirut due to harassment by Syrian intelligence, by the regime. And then I lived in Beirut for 6 years. And when I was there, I lost my aunt. She was in Damascus, and of course, I couldn't I didn't attend her funeral. I lost my cousin. I lost another cousin who lives in Paris. She's a famous actress and she's opponent also, and she died alone uh, in Paris. So all these losses was very tough for me, and and they motivated me to write this novel, to write about family and the idea of the family. And on the other hand, um, my family on my mom's side was always a fictional project, always postponed. I've always wanted to write about my mother family. I'm an only child and born in Damascus, and family has always been my mom family, especially, has always been like a dream for me, because it's very there is a lot of diversity in this family. If we talk about like religion, about also sectors, yeah, it's very rich family. Maybe like a lot of others, Syrian, of course, family. And my relationship with men was and still problematic, because I not I lost, but all men in my life when I was like children and when I was young was missed. Uh, 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 did can I say did died or sick. Um, I have just one uncle, and he had like an accident when I was 8 years old, and he became a different person after this car accident. He became another uncle. My dad also had a cancer when I was like 9 or 10 years old, and he passed away a few years after, like 5 years after, and I was young, uh, very young. Uh, my aunt's husband, I don't know him because also he died before I was born. So I was surrounded by women of different ages, powerful women, and also from different moods and background. There is my mother and my grandmother, of course, my aunt, and her daughters. So, family of women. Ironically, and that's why I write also this novel. They left early, and those of us who are still there, uh, we live in agony because of the losses. Uh, Another thing that disting- distinguishes, how can I say it? يعني distinguishes, I don't know the pronunciation,
Yes, yes.
right? Yeah. Uh, my family, as I said, it's from different religions, and there is a sectarian diversity. So I grew up without knowing my religion or practicing any religion. I grew up watching all the ritual without like all the ritual celebrated, the Christian one and the Islamic one. My maternal grandmother, she's Turkish Christian, and she was married to a Christian man, and so she have my aunt. So my aunt, she's a Christian, and then her husband died. So she married with a Muslim man, my grandfather, and a Damascene man from Damascus, and a Sunni Muslim. And then she gave birth to my mother and my uncle, and my mother also, she's a Sunnite, but she married to my dad, who is Alawite. So there is all this diversity, uh, and it's very like it's very strong. I had a very strong memory about all this year. So that's why I wrote this novel, or it's how I've started to think about this novel.
So do you think about that now that you told me? Do you think about that writing this novel was like a way to work on your grief, on your sadness, on
Uh,
all those losses?
Not really, because writing, it's I've been like asked this question before, even with my previous novel, The Frightened Ones. The answer is simple. Like writing for me, it's always like a therapy. With this novel and with the previous one and with the future one, and no matter what I write about, novel, article, everything I write, it's a therapy. But it's not like a therapy relate to the family or the story of the family. But in general, yeah, I prefer to write. I don't usually I avoid attending like a culture events like that one, because because I can't find the word. I find myself better with pen and paper. Yeah.
So how much of the book is fiction and how much is really based on life? Because that's a thing that happens in the beginning of the book. Now she has the camera, the narrator gets the camera, she wants to get her mother's memories, and then it starts to tell the stories of her other family members and the other women of her family. So how much was fiction and how much, because what you're telling me, it's a lot like the characters in your book about your
Yeah.
family.
Uh, yeah, the characters, like, to be honest, they are realistic, but they are at the same time fictional characters also. I do not distinguish in writing between reality and fiction. Uh, Everything that is written, I think, was fiction, which turns into reality when it's written and read. And when the writer like draws and write about his characters, the features of those characters, the experiences they live, and the memory they live in. Uh, so reality is fiction. Um, if we don't know, if we don't know it, it's a fiction. My story, for example, it's a fiction for those who don't know me. If I wrote it, only those around me will notice or will know that it was my story. So all stories are fictional, I think, and writing is what turned them into reality.
And can you talk a little bit about that idea of the narrator who wants to the camera, the idea of using the camera in your story to talk about the mother's character?
Yeah, the camera is a way of documentary, and it's a memory. It's the memory, and memory is a very interesting topic for me. It's essential and linked also to another topic and concepts such as identity, and belonging, many feelings such as loss, love, hate, and even the desire of revenge, in the Syrian case, or in a story or experience like Syrian case. Memory is also linked to the act of inheritance, and to the, as you said in the question before, to the grievances, and that some societies inherit, like in Syria, as well as the concept also of protection. The memory is a way to protect also, to protect our life and our experience. Memory, for example, protects my mother from collapse. She gets tired, so then she starts to remember, and we sometimes spend like long hours, her and I, remembering and recalling another life that we lived in Damascus, in our home, with our family, with the others women. So it helps a lot, and I think memory in some case it become home also, become home for us when we are tired from our new life in this like strange country or city. So we recall this memory of our life to be strong and to go on with everything. And I think memory also, it's the only witness that the regime, any regime, even the Syrian regime, cannot arrest or spy on. So it's also a parallel history of history of a human being, of a country, of everything, and it can be passed from generation to another generation. And memory also is a documentary act. So that's why I used the camera, the video camera, and that's why I find I find it very important and a key word for people like Syrian people to protect the memory in general. Yeah.
And I think that one of the beautiful phrases in your book is that the mother, she has a lot of memories, and the daughter, the narrator, she doesn't have any memories, and so she lives the memories of her mother as if they were her own.
Yeah.
I find that beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful, and I don't know if it's beautiful. Thank you for saying that, because I think also memory is a choice, in the sense that a person sometimes choose what he want to memorize or to remember. Let me say, memory like is selective also sometimes. So maybe that's why.
Yeah, and you told about how memory can be like a parallel history to the official history, and in your book, it's like an unofficial
I lost you, Paula. I don't know, maybe the connection is weak. Yeah, so I will just answer this question, or I will suppose what the question was. Paula? So Paula, she's not here. Hi.
Hello. Hi, everyone.
Hi,
Uh,
Laura.
Hi, Dima. Sorry, yes, Paula has a bad connection, and we
Yeah,
can a little bit for her to come back, but we can keep talking. And if you wanna answer this half question, you
yeah.
can say.
It's the topic of memory. It's a very interesting topic for me anyway, and we can talk about it like hours and hours. So we was about talking about the selective, I think,
Yes.
memory. So and maybe I can just add that memory also, there is a part of memory who it's like also linked to the imagination. It's an imaginary part, and yeah, I don't know.
I think also, I don't know.
Also the concentration. Yeah.
Yes. I'm sorry for this technical issue.
No, it's okay.
But also, I was thinking while you were talking about about memory, and maybe also the role that a historical um, role that the memory and the writing and literature can also play. I was thinking about that because it's like a not official history, but such an important.
Exactly, like the novel, even the literature. I think also the literature, the Arabic literature in general, the Syrian literature also. It's very important because it's the parallel history. Sorry, or it's, I think, the real history of everything, because the regime, the censorship, and it was very not difficult. It was impossible to say, to write about our experience, and then the novel literature became this this instrument, this option to tell the truth.
Yes. I was remembering. It's a book about. It's a book by Elias Houri that we published also, which is the also translated by Safa Jubran. My Name is Adam. It's the first volume
Yeah,
of
yeah,
the trilogy.
exactly. Yeah,
And I remembered very much about this and some passages of the book that say this, like the role of literature, how important, and in that situation also to tell the story that's been or invisible or silenced or whatever it is. And so thank you. Remember me this very beautiful play. Role of literature. Oh, Paula, she's back. I can stay here just
yeah.
listening to you live. So if something happened, I have some questions here also for you. So Paula, please.
Okay, perfect.
I'm sorry.
Hi, Paula
I'm
again.
sorry. I'm sorry. Today, thank you. Sorry, Dima, because
Hi, no, no
so this
worries
is like
at
out
all.
of the blue. Um, so I was gonna ask you about how you said that memory is like a parallel history, and your book talks about. We can see the history of Syria, but through the women's eyes. That it's not something that, at least here in Brazil, we don't get to read a lot. Generally, we read about histories of men, or the wars, and we don't really know how the women were there. So Did you want to talk about this part of this history throughout these eyes, or just something that happened because it's part of the memory, the family history?
No, it wasn't like a choice like that. So the book, the book is about women, but not about like any woman, like not about like women in general. And talking about women is really interesting, I think, also especially in the Arabic culture, because woman is not there, unfortunately, and it's a very like masculine culture. So but in this novel, woman was there not just as like feminist or feminism, but also because this family was like a woman family. And the book tells about women, but tells more also about Syria, about regime, about the daily life of some like of some people. I cannot say that the story of those women characterize other millions story, but I can say that there is a lot of Syrian women who had the same experience and the same losses.
So I want to talk to you about some specific characters. Laura, if you want to make any questions, please just make them, okay? Because my favorite character is Marianne. Marianne.
Marianne.
I loved her. Yeah, I loved her from the beginning. She's just so unique. So I'd like to know if you have a favorite character, and I don't know. I just love Marianne's story, and then I'm gonna ask about her daughters afterwards. So.
I love all characters. I love all characters. I love Marianne. I don't prefer like one character from the others. And in general, I think writer needs to love all characters to be able to write about them, and to know them very good before also writing about them. So Marianne, it's not just Marianne for me in the book. Marianne is also my aunt. So yeah, I love her, of course. And it was a way also to not just to remember her, but also to keep her in a book, to keep her in a story, to keep her with us.
When we talked about, we're having like an internal conversation. Safa Jubran, who translated the book very well. Thank you, Safa, for this and the other books that she's translating.
Yeah.
And she said that every Arab family has an aunt like Marianne. So she remembered a lot of her aunts as well. So
And
it was from
in Brazil, is every family like aunt like Marianne?
No, but because Safa is from Lebanon, so
I know.
So she has this, but you know, sometimes we have these aunts as well. So there's aunts. So this family dynamic is not foreign. It's not alien to us here as well. So one of the questions that I was going to ask you is about because a lot of families here in Brazil don't have many male figures because they die very young, or they abandon the families, or you know, and this was something that when I was reading I thought, oh, this is really is like Brazil, because a lot of families here, the women are the ones who are taking care of everything, you know, they are the providers. So for me, that was something that was really like Brazil from your family story. I think in Syria, I don't know, but we have also this problematic relationship with men, I guess.
Yeah, in Syria, now we have this problem, I think, and after the revolution and the war, and after there is like millions of Syrian who just left the country, and who died, and was imprisoned. So now there is this problem in Syria. Before that, I don't know. I don't have like numbers about the men and women, but always women. I think, I don't know. You told me in Brazil the same thing, but in Syria also, women are the part who do everything, like from work uh, to love, to take care of others, to everything. So but I didn't like mean to write about women, because men was not like the Brazilian case. The man in this novel was not there because of a lot of reasons, but maybe there wasn't there because I don't know the word in English. I'm really sorry. Uh, I feel like I will collapse like the robot, because it's because maybe it's 10:30, so I'm sorry for that. But oh my god, can we just like go to another question, please?
Yes. I would like to ask you about Shakdaf, who is Marianne's daughter. Shakdaf?
Sharaf.
Shahaf.
Yeah,
Shahaf.
Sharaf, yeah.
Be, because you tell in the book that she has a lot of characters in her. She inhabit a lot of different women along the book, and I I was thinking about how that we as people we create ourselves throughout our lives, and we change a lot. So I really saw that in Shahdaf. And can you tell us about these all these characters that inhabit Shahdaf, all these women?
uh yeah, her name is Sharaf. Sharaf in Arabic is passion. And Sharaf, yeah, she have like a lot of women inside her, or who inhabit her. But I think also Marianne have this woman, also Yasmin, and the mother, and all the characters have this like this experiences and this other personality or characters. A few weeks ago, I read like a scientist article about the human brain, and like specialists believes that the brain does not distinguish between fiction and reality, in the sense that it stores scenes and experiences in the same time, in the same place, without distinguishing between the real and the imagined. So the brain won't like how can I say that, won't know the difference between what I imagine now or what I lived. And that's why I think Shagaf and all of us have a lot of other, a lot of characters inside us, inhabit us, because of the imagination. So the imagination and the memory also. And but I didn't understand really your question, Paula. If you can just explain more to me.
No, you answered perfectly. Yes, you answered. Now about Ninar. Ninar, she is Shahaf's sister, Marianne's daughter, and she's an actress, but she was also a revolutionary. And Yasmina, who is Shahaf's daughter, for me is the one with the saddest story in your book. For me, at the end, I thought it was very a tragic life. And can you talk a little bit about those two? Because in the end of the book, it's really about those two characters. I think we start to get to know them better.
Okay. Yeah, Paula, but I need to say also that it's really very difficult for me to talk about my characters, because once I write about them, uh, uh, yeah, I try to avoid talking a lot about them and about their experiences or everything. So in general, I don't prefer to talk about my characters, and I don't want also to ruin
Okay.
the pleasure of reading of anyone. But yeah, for me, really, I love all of those women, Sharaf, Ninar, Yasmin, and you are right. The story of Yasmin, it's very sad, and it's, I don't know if it's like a coincidence, but like Yasmin, it's the only one also who still live in Damascus, and that's why I think it's also a sad story, because all the family is not there anymore. So she felt this loss more than us, because she still lives there. She live in Marianne house, so she can see every day the pictures, and she can smell the this memory and this scenes. So yeah, it's a sad story.
Now, I want to ask you a question from Danilo Pereira, who sent us this question. He said that he thought a lot about the geography within the book, a geography much more sentimental than physical, and how each house, place, city is very symbolic in reference to each woman. I'd like to ask if each city represents more than memories, if they are pieces of Syria's own history, if each city or house is in fact a woman, a friend, someone you imagined.
Sorry, can you repeat the last the question? I didn't hear it.
He wants to know. He wants to know if the cities that appears in the book, that they if they represent each woman who will start to live there, London, Paris, and Damascus, and or if they represent these women as well, or because he thinks it's more like a sentimental geography than real geography.
Yeah, it's real and it's sentimental. Places are always sentimental, I think, and geography also. Geography can be like a reality, and it can be also like a part of imagination. I spent the first 2 years in Lebanon after leaving Syria in 2011. I spent 2 years looking on the map, Google Map, to see my home and to just see how long I need to get to my home by car, walking, airplane, everything, and to imagine also this geography. Beirut, it's like Beirut, it's 2 hours by car from Damascus, but it was for me like very, very far city. Damascus was very far for me from Beirut because I cannot get there. I cannot go back. Paris was nearest than Damascus for me. London, USA, anywhere it was nearest than my home. So geography, yeah, it's like it's sentimental and it's a reality, and it's very important in literature and in our experience, in our story.
And now, Luis, another question from Luis. He said that your father is a theater writer who is known, and it seems to me that the history of your book starts with your father's figure. I wanted to know the importance of the phrase that he says that gives name to your kid, who gives it, because it's a sentence that he says in your book that gives your book your title, the book's title.
Yeah, yeah. So what the question is?
If you can talk about the importance of your father, and maybe did he said that
Yeah.
sentence that is the title of your book?
Yeah, to talk about my dad, I don't know if you have time, because I can like spend all night talking about my dad. I have a very like special relationship with him, and I miss him a lot. And always I think, how can I miss him like he just passed away now. So I cannot like I cannot forget the moment, the moment of lost. So yeah, he's a very like important in my life until now. And I even gave my son his name, uh, but without Allah. So my dad name is Saadallah, and my son name is Saad, just without God. And he's everywhere in our life. I have his picture here, and there and there. You cannot see them, and yeah, and also he's a very important person in my mom life and memory. And if he said this sentence, no, he didn't. It's a part of the imagination.
Yeah, it's a very good sentence, actually, and that's why it's the title as well. So I'd like to know if Laura has any questions or want to say anything to Dima. I don't know. My battery just fell, so I don't know what you guys talked about when I wasn't here.
Actually, I want to thank you, Dima. I know it's very late there in London, and I'd like to say that it was a pleasure to work in this book, to work with Safa, with the text, and to edit it. We are all at Tabla very, very happy, and we really thank you for the trust, for giving us this book to be translated and to publish it. So I just want to really to thank you, and thank you for, I know it's late, so thank you for being here with us. And I hope
thank you so much, Laura. Yeah, thank you so much, really, thank you. And yeah, it's late, but I'm very happy to be here with you. And thank you, Paula. I'm sorry also because the connection was weak, and I'm sorry if English is horrible. It's a shame that I live in London, and yeah, but it's also part of our story, because sometimes to protect yourself from this this sad feeling of leaving your country and changing your life, sometimes you don't do this effort to learn a new language, and because language also, it's a way to live, to connect, and sometimes to disconnect with not just a connection, but to disconnect from your life. So, but thank you so much. Really, it was a pleasure to talk to you.
Okay, I hope maybe next time we can also do well, your English is very good, even better than mine, of course. And but maybe we can
very good. Yeah.
Yes, and maybe we can do some conversation in Arabic, just because it's a very, very beautiful language. And
yeah, it was great.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you, Paula, and for your effort with this terrible connection. And Dima, I hope you come to visit us in Brazil very soon.
I will. Invite me.
I will. Here is the invitation. We just let's find a date. Yes.
With pleasure. Thank you so much.
Invited. Thank you. Thank you all. Bye.
So thank you very much, Laura, Dima. Pleasure to meet you, and everyone who's watching, and Luis and Anna who's on the backstage. Bye.
Yeah, thank you.
you.
Thank you so much.